All right, so let's get started with supersizing and optimizing your email marketing with Constant Contact. These are the keys to creating loyal customers through email marketing. My name is Kimberly Beer, and I've been an authorized local expert and solution provider with Constant Contact for almost 7 years. I love Constant Contact because email marketing is such an important part of what I do for my clients, and it makes it so easy for me to be able to utilize this very important tool to help my clients be really successful with their businesses. So, a few years ago, I went and saw Paige Cahill talk at an event that I went to learn some more stuff for my clients and thought, yay, I want to do that. I want to teach people about email marketing and Constant Contact because letting or helping small businesses be successful is what my business's mission is all about. And I also know that Grow Nebraska is about that too. It's about bringing people together and helping you be able to create better business opportunities. So our webinar today is brought to you by Grow Nebraska. And I do want to remind you there's a great conference coming up on March the 16th. If you're not registered for that, you might get in touch with Grow Nebraska and get a ticket because it sounds like it will be a really super cool event. And don't forget, if you post anything on social media about it, use the hashtag Market Tech Conference. All right, so today we're going to be talking about email marketing. And for me, there are 4 qualities of a good email, and there are also 3 actions that we must consider within our email marketing. Those actions are acquiring, serving, and retaining customers. So as business owners, we get really focused on these 3 options that help us be able to keep our business constantly moving forward. And email marketing works really well in all 3 of these aspects of filling our business funnel. So it helps us acquire new customers because it is a very shareable platform. It also helps us introduce ourselves to new prospects in a way that nurtures that relationship very naturally without being overly salesy, as long as we keep some things in mind. Once a client becomes a client, it helps us stay top of mind as well as serve those customers with information that they find value. And over time, it really helps us retain our relationships with our customers so that they'll come back. And repeat customers are the ones that spend more money with you. They're also your best source of referrals for future business. So email marketing can really help us in all 3 of these areas. There are people who are afraid to use email marketing. Personally, I am not one of them. It is it's the hub of my marketing program for my business. And it is the hub of the marketing program for my clients as well, because I know that email marketing helps people convert. There are 4 qualities that I talk about when I talk about good email marketing. And I'm going to cover those over the next few slides. But I also want you to know that what I am talking about here when I'm talking about email marketing, it is not sending an email out through Gmail. It is sending it out through a dedicated email service provider, email marketing service provider like Constant Contact, where you keep your contacts, you get to make professional looking emails, and you can get reports on who interacted with what inside of your email. So the 4 qualities that I have really help the emails get opened and looked at by your subscribers, and then also initiate the things inside the email that help you be able to make better decisions as a business owner. And after we finish the PowerPoint here, we're going to dive right in and I'm going to show you how easy Constant Contact is to use and how easy it is to create your first email in Constant Contact. So my first quality of a good email is that it be branded. It has to be something where you can be recognizable as you. Your brand carries a message, and it's important that that message come through in your email marketing. One of the biggest reasons that emails don't get opened is because it doesn't look like it's someone with whom the subscriber has a relationship. So think about the way you read your email. You tend to look at the from line first, right? So you would look at that. Usually it's bold, and usually it's a very prominent area in your email software, in what you're reading your email in. So if it's not someone you recognize, then you tend to delete that email. And even if it comes across as someone you recognize and you open the email and it doesn't seem consistent with the experience that you've had with that company, then you have some opportunity there to not want to be involved with that particular email. It looks suspicious, so you'll move on. So branding is very important. Branding with your logo, branding with your brand's personality, and branding with the colors that your business uses. The second quality of a good email is that it be valuable. And people think that the number one reason people unsubscribe from emails is that they over communicate. So business owners often think that that's the reason that the unsubscribes happen. And it's really not. The primary reason people unsubscribe from your list is because they find the content irrelevant or not valuable enough. In other words, there's not enough payoff for them to continue to keep receiving your emails. Again, think about how you process your email. Even those daily emails, even those companies that feel like a daily email is okay to send, when they send that daily email, if that content is valuable for you, even every once in a while, you will typically put up with receiving the daily email so that you can get the valuable content. So it's very important that when you think about creating marketing emails, that you remember that there must be something in there that's valuable for your customers. That content that you put forward, it needs to have a lot of things that support that value. It needs to be engaging, friendly, credible, persuasive, shareable. Those are one of my favorite terms. Great content is really important in your email marketing. The third quality of a really good email is that it be actionable. That is that it's easy for your customers to buy whatever it is you're selling. If you're a nonprofit, you make it easy for them to donate. If you have a product to sell, you make it easy for them to click on and buy that product right on your website or find your store if you're a brick and mortar business. If you provide a service and you do consultations, make it super simple for them to get a hold of you for the consultation or for them to schedule that service. So actionable is another really important quality of a good marketing email. Something that we can click on, something we can push on with our thumbs. The fourth quality and the last quality is that it be concise. Be considerate of your subscribers' time. Most of us now read our emails on a cellular device. And so if it's more than a couple of screenfuls on a cell, it's really too much. We tend to want to move on. Gone are the days when we send really long emails infrequently, and today's trend tends to be to send more emails that are shorter, so more frequent emails that are shorter. So what's next in all of this? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a slide that can give you, I'm going to explain our special for today, and then I'm going to exit out of PowerPoint, and we're going to dive right into Constant Contact, and I'm going to show you how super easy it is to create an email using those four qualities that I just told you about. Constant Contact is a subscriber-based service for email marketing, and I have a super special for any of those of you who want to get started with Constant Contact. You can get your first 3 months for only $5 a month. That is the best special that we have offered in forever for the time that I've been with Constant Contact. So it's an amazing opportunity for you to be able to really utilize Constant Contact in your marketing program and get a true taste of what email marketing can do. If you're interested in receiving Constant Contact for the $5 a month, this particular program, you have to do it through me. You can't get it through your regular website or through regular website on Constant Contact. All you need to do is just type into your question area at some point in time during the presentation that you're interested, and someone from my staff will get a hold of you and we'll get you set up and started with Constant Contact. All right, out of PowerPoint we go and into Constant Contact. This is what Constant Contact looks like behind the scenes. So this is my dashboard. So I've already logged into my account, and you can see here I have a big orange create button, and that's what I'm going to hit to get started. Constant Contact comes in two different flavors. So there's two different levels of subscription that you can get. The first one is just a basic email subscription, and that's what you're going to get for that $5 a month for the first 3 months. And then after that, it would go up to $20 a month for up to 500 contacts. Your subscription rate is based on the number of contacts that you have. Constant Contact also has what we call Email Plus, which is where you can add, in addition to email, event registrations and surveys and a bunch of other tools that really help small business. It's a little bit more expensive, but it provides you with a lot more things, and it integrates really well with your email marketing. So you're able to do things like promote your event or get more information from a survey or automate your emails so that you spend less time worrying about what gets sent and more time following up with the customers that respond or the information that you get from your Constant Contact reports. Everything that I'm going to do in the demonstration over the next few minutes is going to be in the email basic program. So everything is in that very low level of subscription. So I'm going to click on send an email, and that's going to bring me to my template selection area. Now, if you're a current Constant Contact customer and you've had Constant Contact for a little while, like more than 6 months, you actually have access to more than one type of editor. There is our traditional or classic editor, and then there's the next generation. Doesn't that sound nice? The next generation editor, which allows you to drag and drop. And for our demonstration today, I'm going to use that editor because it's a little bit easier than the old classic one. However, if what you're doing is the traditional way, that works too. And chances are you should have access, even if you have the classic editor and you've been using Constant Contact a while, to access the new templates. In the upper right-hand corner here, there's this View New Templates link, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that and go to the new templates. If you have a Constant Contact account that you don't have that option and you're still seeing an editor that doesn't look like the one that I'm going to give the rest of the demonstration in, you can click up here on your question mark. So up in the upper right-hand corner, the question mark here, you can click on that. It will take you to a toll-free number where you can call and talk to the person at Constant Contact that can help you be able to get your account set up to use the next generation editor. And trust me, you're going to want to do it because it's so cool. So now we have a page full of templates available to us. And from here, we can pick a template that fits what we're doing with our business. There are some templates that are located or are centered around something seasonal. There are different templates for different types of businesses. For example, if you own a restaurant, there's one specifically for restaurants. And then there's some very generic ones, some very businessy ones. The point I want to make with the templates is that although you have a lot of choice, the choice is really very simple. Just pick one and go. Because what you're going to be able to do once we get in the editor is modify that template so that it fits the business that you're working with. So I personally like this template called Announcement. I like the fact that it has color blocking, so it's very easy for me to brand. And it's a very simple template with one nice column that I can utilize. Now, do understand that all of the templates in Constant Contact's Next Generation Editor are mobile responsive. So that means if the template has 2 columns or a layout where there's pictures across from text, that will become 1 column when it is viewed on a cell device because it's smart. It knows what the email is being opened on, and it displays the email appropriately. So to select this template, I'm going to go ahead and click on the word select. So One of the things that I found in demonstrating constant contact for the last 6 years is it's easier for folks to understand and follow me if I have a purpose with what I am creating. And so I always like to use the Kansas City Pet Project as my demonstration business. They're a no-kill animal shelter in Kansas City, and this gives nonprofits a really good idea of what you might want to do for your nonprofit business. But for those of you who have for-profit or service-oriented business, just think of the animal that we're going to feature today as a product or a service that you would offer to your customers. And the feature story is something that you might have that is a news item in your business, or some information or education that you might want to pass on to your customers that they would find valuable, or a special that you might want to tell them about. So it all works in various different ways for you to be able to understand how to use it for your specific business. Again, I want to remind that if you do have questions during the presentation, you can always feel free to ask. So all you need to do is type those into the question area. So we're going to create an email for the Kansas City Pet Project that features this Love Changes Everything adoption event on March 4th and 5th. So back to my constant contact. So here is my constant contact editor. And just a little tour here. This is the canvas area of my constant contact editor. And I can look here as I scroll my mouse over the email that's set up, the template that's kind of there generically waiting for me to fill in some specific information. I can see that as I scroll my mouse over it, different blocks are highlighted. And that's exactly how constant contact works. It works like building blocks. So if you remember back when you were a kid and you would take blocks and you would take different shapes and arrange them in different ways to make different messages, that's exactly what you're doing with this particular editor. So when I scroll my mouse over the various blocks, you'll see a little tab pops out on each block over to the right. That tab lets me do some things with that particular block. For example, if I want to move the share button up underneath the picture, all I need to do is get the four-way tool, or even better, just hover until the four-way tool appears, click, hold, and drag that into where I want it. Now you'll notice when I drag, I get this wonderful magenta line. Wherever the magenta line is at is where my button is going to fall. So I can drag that particular block all over my email and move it to where exactly it is that I want it. If I use a block frequently and I want to be able to duplicate it, I can click on the gear and click on the duplicate, and I'll get a second copy of it. If I don't want a block in my email any longer, I can also click on the gear and then click on the trash can, and that block will disappear. Also, I can click on the block to edit it. I'll get a toolbar, and there is another trash can on the toolbar as well. So I can delete the block from there if I would like to, or the components from within a block. Over here to the left, I have my build blocks. So these are blocks that I can use to add to the email that I already have. So I can change the placeholders that are currently there, or I can add new ones simply by grabbing it, dragging it, waiting for the magenta line to fall where I want that block to appear, releasing, and letting that particular placeholder fall where it may, according to where the magenta line appears. So now that we have a basic understanding of how the editor works, we're going to utilize these building blocks here, along with the images that we have stored in our library and some design components from this palette over here to the left, to create an email that is branded, valuable, actionable, and concise, and meets our 4 qualities of a good marketing email. Before we go one step further, though, we need to give our email a name. And to do that, I just need to click on this untitled campaign created with the date and time. Each email in your constant contact needs to have its own specific name. So I'm going to call this Grow. Here, I need to click on here again. Grow Nebraska Demo. All right, so we're going to click on save. So now that email has its own specific name in all of my campaigns. I can also look up here and see the save area button, and typically Constant Contact keeps those saves for me, but it always helps me feel a little bit better if I hit that save button every once in a while, because then I know I've put my stamp on it. So, all right. The first step that I'm going to take with this email is that I'm going to brand it. So I want it to look like it belongs to the Kansas City Pet Project. And I'm going to do that, first of all, by adding the Kansas City Pet Project logo to my email. Once you start using Constant Contact, your logos and your images will appear in your library tab or your images tab. So the easiest way for me to get an image into my email is just locate it in my images tab and drag and drop it. Now, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to get things into this library. But for this demonstration, let's just grab our logo, drag it over here. Again, where that magenta line appears, I'm going to release, and that's where my logo is going to appear in my email. I can change the size of my logo by hovering over it and using these arrows to make it a little bit smaller. Remember, I want to be really conscientious of how much real estate that I take up on somebody's cellular device or on their email browser. I want to be able to be as concise as I can, but also very noticeable. The next thing I want to do is I want to make my emails colors look a little bit more like they belong to the Kansas City Pet Project. So I'm going to change these colors here to colors that work with my company. So I have my buttons and dividers. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab this pretty little KCPP blue, and I'm going to make my email match my website just a little bit better. And one more thing that I really want to do with my branding, and this is a very good email best practice, is I want to put the name of my business into the text in my email somewhere, because there are still people out there who don't display their images right off the bat. And again, remember, branding or showing up as who people know you to be is very important in making sure that people not only open my email with the from, but also feel comfortable with what they're receiving inside the email really came from my business. So I'm just going to change this line right here to KC Pet Project, and then just put since that's kind of short, I'm just going to visually add a little bit of a tagline: Kansas City's no kill animal shelter. All right. Now, all I did to type that in was just simply select the placeholder text and type right over the top of it. When I clicked on the block, then I got this beautiful toolbar here that lets me do all kinds of things with my text. So I'm going to select my text again, and I'm going to center it, because I don't like it all the way over to the left. I think it looks funny with my logo especially being centered. I can also change it, make it bold, even make it a little bit bigger and a little bit more prominent, and then go ahead and click on done. And so now I have a little bit of branding here that helps this feel like it belongs to the Kansas City Pet Project. The next thing I want to do, moving down in my email, is I want to be able to do that feature story. And in this case, I want to be able to feature the story on the Love Changes Everything adoption. So I'm going to grab a screenshot of this particular image that I can use in my email. So I'm just going to take a little picture of that. You can use your computer's screen capture shortcuts. We happen to be watching this demonstration on a Macintosh computer. So if you're using a Mac, it is Command Shift and the number 4 to get that little thing to capture part of your screen. If you're using a PC, you can use your shortcut for whatever it is, your version of Windows for capturing the different parts of the screen. I'm sure you can Google that and find it out. In addition to that, you can also use a product called Jing. We all happen to love Jing, and I'm going to give you the address for Jing. techsmith.com/Jing, and you can go and take a look at that particular product. It lets you capture little videos even. Another good product to create graphics for your website, or I mean for your emails, is PicMonkey. I personally adore PicMonkey. We use Photoshop here, but that's because we have the full creative suite. And I really love Photoshop, but I don't always have access to it, particularly when I'm in clients' offices. And there are times I want to add text to a photo, or I want to do some things to ramp up the color, or just a little bit of editing, or a little bit of graphic design, or make a collage. And PicMonkey lets you do that. And here's the cool thing about PicMonkey: it's free. And it does have a paid version where you don't have to put up with ads, although I tell you the ads are not obnoxious at all, and some of them are really worth clicking on. Even the paid version is not very expensive. So I've put that link in your chat area as well. One other product a colleague of mine just absolutely swears by is Canva, and it lets you create things as well with stock art, and then you get to save your creation. There is a small fee involved with Canva, and I think it depends on what you do. So those are all great products for you to be able to use to create really good graphics and get graphics off of your website quickly and easily to use in your email. All right, back to our email. We want to put that graphic that we just captured into our email, and we already have a place for it with this image that's here. So I'm just going to replace that image, and it's that terminology exactly. So I'm going to click on it and click on the word replace. This is going to bring up an image dialog box, which is a little bit different from that tab that we have over to the left where our images are stored. And this time I want to upload, since that screenshot saved to my desktop. So I'm going to click on Upload File, and then I'll be able to browse my computer, locate the screenshot that I just took, which will be on my desktop, and then I can insert that into my email. Has anyone noticed that the internet has been giving everyone grief the last couple of days? I know here it has been a problem. We even had websites down this morning. All right, there's my screenshot. I'm going to grab it, and then I'm going to click on Upload. And it's going to place that picture into my library now. Now it'll be available for me for the future. A couple of caveats when you're putting images into your Constant Contact library. You can't upload images that are larger than 5 megabytes. And if you have an image that you want to use that is larger than that, you can go to PicMonkey and use their free service to make it a smaller image. Usually it's just simply making it a little bit smaller with the pixels, as well as the resolution a little bit lighter. The reason why we don't want images that are large in Constant Contact is we don't want them to load slowly in email clients. So it's very important that the images be small and optimized, and Constant Contact does take care of a good part of that for you. And you have 2 gigabytes of storage in your Constant Contact account, so you've got plenty of room to be able to put in lots of images. All right, so here is my image for Loves Changes Everything Adoption event. I have chosen it here, and now I'm going to click on Insert, and voila, there it is in my email. Now here, I would of course want to do my featured story. So I'd want to do a headline, and I'd want to type in a couple of lines about this particular featured event that's going on. So maybe some details about it, or put in a button to get people to click to go and find out more information about it. Another thing I know about email marketing and people who open emails is that they like to click on pictures. And if I don't make my pictures linkable to some place, I tend to miss out on people. So I actually want to make this clickable. So if somebody clicks on this $35 pet adoption or this adorable face right here, they go to the page that tells them more about what is in the image. So to do that, I simply go to my computer and navigate to the page on my browser that I want to display when they click on the image, or in the case of a button or a link, however you want to go about it in addition to the image. I get the URL, which is the address for that page in the browser, right click, copy, come back to my email, click on the picture, click on the word link to link it up. The type of link is a web page. I right click, paste, and click on insert. And now when somebody clicks on this picture, it's going to go directly to that page on the Kansas City Pet Project website. There are a couple other really cool things that are going to happen along with that. One is that person who clicked on it is going to be recorded in Constant Contact's reporting system. So now you, as the email marketer, can go look at that report and see who clicked on what inside your email. So let's say you have a product for sale, and we're going to feature an animal that's for adoption to show you a little bit more about how you might want to structure that particular option. But imagine that you have that product on your website for sale, or even better yet, maybe you're doing an event and you're registering people for the event, and you notice that on the photo and the event link in your Constant Contact, 30 people clicked on that, and you only need 5 more people to fill your event. Well, you can go through that list and you can look and see, oh, I have these people registered, and whoever isn't registered but thought enough about it to click, hey, there's your next step. There's your qualified lead to get me more people to that event. All right, so now we've made this linkable, but hey, you know what? We might want to make our logo linkable too, because that will help people find the Kansas City Pet Project website. So to do that again, all I'm going to do is click on it, click on the word link. And you know what? If it's a link I use very often, it'll appear in my recent links. So all I have to do is grab it and click on the word insert. And now if somebody clicks on the logo, guess where it's going to go? It's going to go right to the Kansas City Pet Project homepage. All right. I am a graphic designer and have been a graphic designer for the last 25 years. And so I like to add a little division to my email. So I'm going to bring a divider line over and put it in between our Love Changes Everything promo and our next section, which we're going to feature an animal that's for adoption. So I obviously want to put a picture of the animal that's up for adoption in my email. That's kind of a no-brainer. And I'd like to put a little text about that animal in. So I'm going to grab my text block and I'm going to position it over here to the right of my picture. So all I have to do is drag it and drop it. And now I have a picture, and to the right, my text. I also want to put a button in, and this is how easy it is to put a button in underneath the picture that encourages people to go get more information about that animal that's available for adoption. So basically, I have now laid out the section of my email for the animal that we're featuring for adoption. So I'm going to go back to my website and look at my adoptable animals. There's all kinds of rats on here right now. So, oh, Bentley. Let's do Bentley. Bentley's cute. So I'm going to click on Bentley's profile to bring up Bentley's page, because I'm going to utilize the information on Bentley's page to feature Bentley in our email. I want to feature this professional photo of Bentley in our email, and I could screen capture it like I did with the one for Love Changes Everything, or I could right click and download it, or there's yet even another way to be able to get images into our email, especially ones that we're probably only going to use one time. So hopefully our email will get sent out, Bentley will get adopted, and then we'll have a good list of people who might be interested in adopting a terrier mix. So I'm going to right click on Bentley's picture, and I'm going to choose Copy Image Location. And what this is going to do is on my clipboard on my computer now is placed the URL for this image, not Bentley's page, but just this image. So if I open up another tab, right click, paste and go, I can see that that just pulls up Bentley's picture. So back in Constant Contact, I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to click on Insert Image, the placeholder, click on Insert Image. And when the dialog box opens up, I have a tab here for Image URL. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to paste that URL in and click on Preview. And there's the sweet face. So I'm going to click on Insert. Now, both Bentley's picture and this button should go to Bentley's page. So I'm going to come back to my animal details. I'm going to copy the URL. You guys getting the hang of what we do here. I'm going to copy that URL. I'm going to click on Bentley's picture. I'm going to click on link. I'm going to paste that URL in, click on insert, and then I'm going to change my button text to learn more about Bentley. And I'm going to change the link here to that exact same link for the web page. So now when somebody clicks on Bentley's picture and they click on this button, it's going to open up this page so people can learn more about Bentley. I might also want to put in a little bit of text. So to do that, I'm going to just copy a little bit of text. Right click and copy. I don't want to include all of the text in my email. What I want to do is include enough that people get interested that they want to click more. So I'm going to highlight the text that was put in with the placeholder, press my delete key, and then I'm going to paste the text that I just copied. Now, my goal in creating this email, remember concise is a big part of my 4 qualities. I want to keep my text in my email down to somewhere between 20 lines, under 20 if I can possibly get it. So I don't want to put all of that text in. I just want to put enough to whet someone's appetite that might be interested in learning more about Bentley to click and then go to the website. So now I've elicited not only more interest in Bentley, but I have also elicited that report to know who's clicked on Bentley's photo. So again, imagine this if you have a service or a product or an event or something that you want to promote that has a clickable component to it. Now you get a qualified and segmented list. All right, I don't like where this button appears, so this is how easy it is to move it. I just grab it, let my magenta line fall underneath it, let go, and it moves the button right underneath. No need to redo it or add another block. It's just that simple. I'm going to add another divider line. And to be honest, this is probably where I would stop with an email if this were an official email that was going to go out. However, there are some more things I want to show you with Constant Contact so that when you get into using Constant Contact, you know all of the wonderful things that it can do. So I want to add a video with Kansas City Pet Project, as well as all kinds of businesses. Video is like the most popular thing right now. It is one of the ways to get more clicks, to get a better segmented list, and it gets so much interaction. And Kansas City Pet Project has this wonderful video that they keep on YouTube that talks about their volunteer opportunities. So I'm going to get the link for that video. In this case, all I have to do is click on it and just copy that link. I'm not copying the location. I'm actually just copying the link, coming back to my email. And if my video is hosted on YouTube, all I have to do is grab this video placeholder, bring it over, drag it, drop it, click on it, click on the word edit, and then paste the URL for the video in, and Constant Contact is going to go grab my video thumbnail, put a play button over it, and all I have to do is click insert and then resize my video accordingly. It is a best practice when you include a video to put a little text underneath it that tells people what the video is about, as well as how long it is. So somewhere in a sentence, like watch this 2-minute video on volunteering at KC Pet Project. So something pretty simple that you can drop underneath that particular video. Sometimes I even like to bring a button over and say, watch the video on the button, just to make sure everybody understands what's going on. So that's how easy it is to insert a video. When you send out a lot of emails, sometimes you'll want to insert a PDF as well. And you can do that very simply by just dragging and dropping a button. And then I can put something like download our dog training PDF. And I'm just going to link it, but instead of a web page, I'm going to choose a document. And that'll bring up the dialog box that has all the documents that I have stored in Constant Contact. I can upload a new one using this button, same process as the photo. Click on this, click on insert, and now this is a clickable link that will put a PDF, download a PDF to the computer of whoever clicks on it. When it comes to email marketing, email to me is the hub of my marketing program, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't need shared on different social networks, as well as getting people interested in what I am doing on social networks. I sort of hedge my bets with my marketing. I want to be able to put my information out there in as many places as possible for people to be able to see it, because I know after doing this for this many years that it takes sometimes 7 to 10 times of someone seeing something before it really registers with them. We are very, very good because we are so inundated with advertising at being able to block messages out. And sometimes it takes a while to get in. So in every email I send out, I try to keep my social haunts or my social areas linked into my particular email, no pun intended. So if you, wherever you happen to be on social media, and I don't feel like you have to do all of these, but where you are on social media should be at the bottom of your email or somewhere in your email. If you choose a template that has this, like we have, it's here. All we have to do is edit it. If you didn't choose a template with these options, all you need to do is grab this little block right here, bring it over here, and it will add this option for you. To edit what these buttons are, all you have to do is click on them, click on edit, and it will bring up a list of the selected networks. You can rearrange them, you can delete them, and you can add networks if you would like. So if we'd want to put Instagram and YouTube on there, we can do so. Make sure, very important the first time, but after that, it's always a good idea to click on these and make sure they're not just going to generic Facebook, but they're going directly to your page on whatever the social network is. The best way to get this link is to go to your page on your browser, just like I did with all of these other things, copy the URL and paste it into this area. So I'm going to go ahead and click on insert, and there are my buttons. Once we have our email ready to go, we're ready to start working on the header part of the email. And this is the from line, the subject line, the pre-header, and there's some really important best practices we need to know here in order to make sure that our emails get opened and show up correctly in the inbox. So I'm going to click on the header, and that's going to make all of that editable. In the from name area, you want to use a name that people are going to recognize, and not that I would be recognized with the Casey Pet Project, but a name and an organization. At the very least, an organization stated in a way that makes sense for whatever the content of the email is. In the from email, we don't want to use these generic email addresses. This is my demonstration account, and I keep it this way on purpose because I want to tell you this is a no-no. You would want to use an email address that has yourbusinessname.com, and preferably not something generic like local expert or information or business at. You would want to use a name and yourbusiness.com. I'm going to click on this and just show you that you can add multiple email addresses to your Constant Contact account. You can even include a different reply address than the address that shows up in the from. And all you need to do is put that address in and then make sure you verify it. I'm going to go ahead and take this back so it takes off those error messages. You don't want to use your business name at gmail.com or your business name at hotmail.com or any other mass email service provider, because that always feels very spammy to the person that's receiving it. I love that that's an actual word in our language now, spammy. The from is so important is because it is one of the biggest considerations as to whether we're actually going to read the next part of the important equation in getting our emails open, and that's the subject line. So typically it's how those things are organized, and it is a big determination factor in how your emails are getting interacted with by your subscribers. The subject line is the next big part of the equation in getting your emails opened. Subject lines should be short, they should be concise, they should be intriguing. Things that typically work really well and don't wear out are questions and numbers. So in this case, we would say, how do you make a dog smile? And of course, by adopting them. So we want to have something that's intriguing enough that maybe someone would click on it. Numbers also work really well, like 3 reasons that love changes everything, or 2 ways that you know, 2 ways that you can do something, or 10 times the fun. Any literary device also works really good in subject lines. But typically, what I tell people to do is to head over to Amazon or their library or bookstore and find books or information on writing headlines. Headlines and subject lines are very much akin to each other. So if you have a good, effective headline, it typically would make a good subject line. In addition to the subject line, there's also the pre-header. Now, pre-headers, you shouldn't put anything in this area that is absolutely necessary to understand the subject line, because sometimes the pre-header doesn't show up. So you don't want to miss this. Is nice. It gives a little edge to it. You may want to utilize it for something else. But it's typically text that shows up either right before or right after the subject line in email browsers. All right, so now our email is pretty well ready to go. So we're going to want to preview our email. So I'm going to click on save and save my email here real quick just to make sure it's saved. And then we're going to click on preview. Now, the preview in Constant Contact is multifunctional. The very first version that comes up is the desktop version, and you can see that it's pretty much like what we've been working on. But if we want to see it change, and I want you to notice specifically Bentley's area of our email, when I click on mobile, it shows me what that email is going to look like on a mobile device. And you can see it looks different. Remember our logo feeling really small on the desktop one? Now it doesn't look so small. And over half of your audience is going to read their emails on a cellular device. So, and I'm going to scroll down. And now we can see Bentley's part of the email is now in one column. So it fits really nicely within my cell phone. So I can see the picture and the text and then the button. And the order of those is based on the order that I put it inside of the email. Now here is the video and our dog training PDF, and then our buttons for social, as well as the availability for people to be able to unsubscribe or change their subscription, which is a big part of spam compliance, which is yet another reason to use a dedicated email marketing service provider like Constant Contact. Constant Contact comes with a trusted name, safe unsubscribe, and the ability for you to be able to read your reports and know what interactions happened within your email once it is sent, as well as manage your contacts. So it's kind of a whole system. If you work with someone who has to approve the emails, or if you're the administrative person who does the email and someone else has to approve it before it can go out, there's a great send a test email button right here that allows you to be able to type in up to 5 addresses, including a little personal note, and send a test email. And once that email is sent, it'll tell you success. Your test email was sent. The recipient does see at the bottom in bright red letters that it is a test email, that it was not sent out to a full list, but it gives you the opportunity to get some feedback before you finally do hit that final send button. The last step in getting our email out the door is to click the orange continue button, and that's going to take us to the place where we can schedule our email. You can schedule emails, multiple emails out to go out into the future, or you can send them at the point in time when you do the email. As to when the best time to send is, which is another determining factor in how your emails are interacted with, that really depends on your target market. And the best way for me to help you understand that is just simply to tell you a story. So I gave a presentation a few years ago to a group of mommy entrepreneurs. These are women who have developed products based on their motherhood experience and continue to be working moms. There's a whole little army of them in Kansas City that do amazing things. And in this group, I gave a presentation and we were talking about the best time to send an email or to post on social. And one of the moms in the back of the room raised her hand and said, you know, I developed with my first child this really cool product that helps you if you're a new mom home from the hospital and you're breastfeeding. And she said, my second child, I was up in the middle of the night. The baby was awake. I fed him. He went back to sleep, but I couldn't go back to sleep. And so I got on the computer and I did my constant contact email and I made a couple of social posts and I actually sold more products in that particular moment in time than I had previously. Why was it? Because the people who needed what she was selling were in the same boat. They were up in the middle of the night with the baby, got the baby back to sleep, were suffering from insomnia. And so what were they doing? They were reading their email rather than sending it. So it really has to do with your target market. When are those people available? When are they most open to receiving your message? So send it now, send it later. When you click on the send it later option, you can schedule the email out months in advance if you want to. So if we wanted to send this on April 3rd, which would be kind of silly because it's past our special date, at 2:00 in the morning, that's what we can do. We also want to select the recipients from the email lists that are available. So I'm going to grab some general interest folks and just select a few lists from my demonstration lists here. And you'll notice, if you notice when we logged in, I think I only have like 68 contacts in my email database. But when I clicked on this, you'll see it selected 86 recipients. Well, there may be multiple people that are on all of these lists. And so they are counted multiple times in this number. But here's the cool thing. Constant Contact will only send them one email because it understands that that email address only gets one copy of this specific email. So you can feel free to segment your groups as much as you would like in order to get them just the right impact and information. So now I've got my list picked. I can have a second look at my subject line and from information, and I can click on the word schedule. Once my email is scheduled, I can get some bigger bang for my buck by sharing my email on my social media. And there's a really easy way for me to be able to do that using a social share option that Constant Contact has created. That will post my email to my social channels at the time that it is published, as well as multiple other times if I would like to. And I can access that right here under the schedule posts. So if I click on that, it will open up a place where I can select various businesses that I would like to, pages that I would like to have it published on. You do need to be an administrator or an editor. So basically you have privilege of being able to do this. So you can select one or more of the businesses that you would like to publish it on. You can also pick an image either from Constant Contact's library of images or from your email itself, and then create a post around that. So we would want to create one obviously after it's sent or right when it's sent. And then if I want to make multiple posts, all I have to do is hit the plus sign and I can make another post that is at a different time on a different day. Whoops, I made that on the same day. So I'd probably want to remove one of those and make one a couple of days later. The theory behind making multiple posts of your email on your social networks is to, again, you're get so little view on social. So particularly Facebook really limits how many of your posts actually get seen. This gives you multiple opportunities to get your email read. And a lot of times, if people maybe missed it in their email box, they'll catch it on social or vice versa. Or there's usually a lot of people on your social network that haven't gotten over to your email list yet. So it gives you an opportunity to be able to reach out to those people. All right, back to my scheduling. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this because those are actually live Facebook pages. And although I don't think they have many likes, it might annoy someone. So I'm going to drop back. And I also want you to notice that there is an email link here. So you can click on this once the email has sent. It won't work until it is actually sent. It will let you click on that, and it's like a little miniature website. It actually looks just like the preview, except at the top it has a button where people can join your list. So if you are having some folks that might be interested in your list, you can copy this link and send it to them and show them a sample of your email. Or if you have an email that you want to show people as a sample of something else, you can actually take that link and use it, and then they can choose to subscribe right on it. So we have, in less than an hour, learned the 4 qualities of a good marketing email. We have used those 4 qualities to create an email that is branded, that is actionable. We put lots of fun little links in here. We also made it valuable by letting people know about a really special adoption event that's coming up, as well as a really special animal that's available for adoption and some volunteer opportunities. We have kept it very concise. It's less than 3 screenfuls on a cellular device, and it's ready to go out the door and get us a good conversion. Here's one statistic that you might want to be aware of. Email marketing on average brings back $44 for every dollar you invest in it. You do have to use it. You got to send out some emails, but I've shown you that can be pretty easy. So email marketing is a massively good way for you to build your business. Again, I want to remind you that we do have a special where you can try Constant Contact for only $5 a month for your first 3 months. And if you would like to take advantage of that, you are more than welcome to just type into your question area, and someone from my team will be in touch with you with the information that you provided when you registered, and we will help you get started with Constant Contact, including even giving you a free 30-minute consultation to get your first email out the door, and that we do that personally here. So I thank you so much for attending. I'm going to leave the line open for about 5 to 10 minutes if anyone wants to take advantage of this offer, or if you have a question that you would like to ask me about Constant Contact, I would be more than happy to answer that. Thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you guys down the line somewhere, I'm sure. Enjoy your day.